Welcome to Focus on Crestview. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Dennis Mitchell, President of the Crestview Area Chamber of Commerce. And I'm joined by our co-host, Alicia Booker from North Okaloosa Medical Center, as always.
Good morning.
Good morning, Alicia. And we have a very special guest with us today. He represents CTAP. We're going to tell you all about what CTAP stands for in just a moment. But welcome, Dr. Paul Hsu.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Well, we appreciate that, and for a matter of disclosure here, we'll have to let folks know that you are a member of the Board of Directors for the Crestview Area Chamber of Commerce, and we appreciate all that you have done for us and with us over the years.
Yes, sir.
So we'll get right to the point here, the interesting things. So what is this CTAP, and tell us how it got started and what's happening with it.
Well, CTAP stands for Crestview Technology Air Park. My good partner, Bob Keller, and I, about 4 years ago, we decided we want to put our head together and do something. So we created a company called Crestview Technology Air Park. And we have roughly about 20 acres located next to Bob Sykes Airport. So we're just really proud to be part of not only Bob Sykes Airport, but part of the Crestview community.
Well, now CTAP is right next to the airport, and you have direct access to the runway, but it's actually just outside of the what we call the FAA property. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct. CTAP, to me and Bob, is a perfect example for public and private partnership.
And that's the key to growing the Bob Sykes Industrial
Bob
Airport. This is the future of it that's out there, for that. Now, right now, Bob Keller's business, Sunshine Aero (SAI), has been out there. And of course, that has a fabulous building, high tech, and quite frankly, one of the most pleasing buildings you can see. I've always thought you guys should charge $5 tour to go see it out there. But I know you have bigger and better plans coming down the road also for that. So we'll get to a little bit more about that information just shortly. But one last thing I'm going to ask you here before I let you go to Alicia's turn over there is that how long have you been plotting and planning to do this one project? You do so many projects. How long did it take CTAP in formation?
Oh, roughly about 5 years.
Wow.
And Bob and I, we've been talking about this off and on for many years. Again, one of the secrets to be successful in business is to find a right partner. And Mr. Keller and I, we not only share the same goal, but we share the same value. Ethics, hardworking, and decent commoncy. So that's the reason why this joint venture can be successful. I think mainly because of Bob Keller.
And we've often said that the air park is an integral part of the growth of our community. So what are some of the future plans that you have for the air park?
Well, if you look at the size of CTAP, we are building first hangar. So in other words, we are the people walk the walk, we talk the talk. The future could be another maybe 2 to 3 big hangars. We'll definitely be able to do that. And one of the hangars that Bob and I have been talking about it so many years now, we'd be able to build one of the largest commercially owned hangar in our area. It can host a C-17 if we want to. So we're very proud of that plan.
Well, the hallmark of your enterprises around here, of course, has been high-paying, high-tech jobs. I often point to you as probably the #1 creative employer in the area over the years, starting back with the MTI many years ago. And you've moved on. You have several other companies that are also successful, and you're still operating them not only locally but globally.
As a first-generation immigrant, the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness really have a very special meaning to me. This is the reason why 30% of immigrants have more tendency to start their own business in this great country of ours. Because we can see not only opportunities, but we don't take nothing for granted. So it's a great country. It's a great land of opportunity.
Well, you certainly have lived the life, and of course, in our next segment, we are going to have the opportunity to discuss your new autobiography, The Guardians of the Dream, The Enduring Legacy of American Immigrants. I have read that book. It is fascinating, absolutely fascinating, and I'll use the word that's overused so often, it's uplifting, and that's the best part of all of that. So if you'll please stay with us for our next segment, we'll come back with Dr. Paul Shue and Alicia Booker, and we'll find out all about Paul's new book, The Guardians of the Dream.
Ahoy, mateys! Captain Billy Bowlegs here, back again to bring fun and merriment to the city of Fort Walton Beach. Thursday, June 5th, Torchlight Parade at 7 p.m., partying with the pirates. Friday night, June 6th, me and me crew will be chatting with the mayor about our plans to take over his city. And then Saturday, June 7th, we'll be landing at 4 p.m. and wading ashore, the 59th annual Billy Bowlegs Festival, the landing at Fort Walton Beach. Arrgh.
When 10,000 students need to be online at the same time, Cox Business is there.
When the big game relies on an even bigger communications network, we're there.
And when students need the same tools and opportunities no matter where they are, we're there.
With a $16 billion network and ability to route 50 million calls a day, Cox Business powers education. We're there for your business, too.
And welcome back to Focus on Crestview. Thank you for joining us. Again, I'm Dennis Mitchell, president of the Crestview Area Chamber of Commerce, and I'm joined by our lovely co-host, Alicia Booker from North Oklahoma Medical Center. And our first segment, we were talking with Dr. Paul Shue, a name known to many in this area, and we had been discussing his joint venture with Bob Keller we call CTAP, and we learned that's Crestview Technical Aero Park, and it's a fabulous facility up there. If you've not been up there to the north end of the airport, it's something special, and I'm sure Dr. Shue would be happy to tell you all about it. But this segment, we have something very special we want to talk about that, and that is the release of Dr. Shue's book, The Guardians of the Dream, The Enduring Legacy of American Immigrants. It is a fabulous book. I have read it. It is something you'll want to understand more about because it's going to make you feel very good as an American. So if you would, Dr. Shue, please tell us a little bit about the book and what motivated you to write it and how things got started, and especially about the gala event that you had at Harvard University on April 17th.
Yes. Well, thank you, Dennis. Well, as you may know, I have done so many little things in my life. I create company, I sold company, I bought companies, I work for the government, I work in the business as executives, but I never have written a book. So this is really a highlight in my career. But the truth of the matter is, the reason I want to write this book is 5 years ago in a parade in San Diego, I saw a bunch of young men holding a big banner. And the banner says, "American Dream is dead." Oh. And I said to myself, no, that's really not true. And I realized that 63% of American college graduate students really think there's no hope in America. There's no such a thing as American dream. And only 40% of the parents believe that their children will have a better life than themselves. So as a first generation of immigrants, I seen opportunity. I seen how great this country is. So I just absolutely have no choice. I want to write this book. So that was 5 years ago. But still, business here and there, and kind of kept me busy. Until about a year and a half ago, I accepted the position at Harvard as a senior research fellow. They provide me an environment, an office, so I can think and I have a time to breathe. Mm-hmm. So I decided, yeah, this is a good time for me to put something that it is my journey, it is my feeling about this great country of mine. I call it Guardians of the Dream.
And you mentioned about being first-generation immigrant into the country. So what are some of the lessons that you've learned about being successful as a business person within the United States here?
Well, if you look at America, Our GDP is a $16 trillion GDP. Our GDP is so big. Our GDP have more than the next 4 countries combined. If you combine the GDP with China, Russia, India, and Brazil, it's still less than the United States GDP. So from the economic point of view, we are absolutely a giant. And we are the leading, we're the leading country in technology, we're the leading country in financials, infrastructure, and 17 out of the 20 the best universities is right here in the United States. So we are in the gold mine for anything you want to do.
One of the things that struck me in the book was that not only did you live this life, starting very humbly, coming to this country, but you have passed on that feeling to your children. I think I got the sense you were very proud that they had honed in early on just how valuable where they live and what time they live in is so important to what they are doing in this country. Can you tell us a little bit about some of that legacy that we see coming up?
Well, as a parent, I think we do have an obligation to provide an opportunity to our children, so maybe one day they can become an entrepreneur. Yes, they want to be a engineer, scientist, a president, anything. But I think entrepreneurship is something can be taught, can be learned. Quick example, when my 3 children were young, I kind of encouraged them to start their own lemonade stand instead of selling the cookies, because the cookies, you have no control about the product. But lemonade stand, you can easily to teach a 7-year-old about 5 major elements to become a successful entrepreneur in a successful business, which is the product, the process, the control, the intellectual property right, and the customer. So the kids can learn very fast about how to make the lemonade taste better than your competitor's lemonade, and you control everything. So I think that's a fabulous way to teach the kids about business in America.
And you mentioned a little bit too about the inspiration for the book and The American Dream is Dead. What words of encouragement do you have for maybe some of the youth or the college students or those who are preparing to enter the workforce about being successful or the American dream?
In 2018, according to the Bureau of Statistics from state of Florida, there's going to be 8 million jobs created in this great country of ours in the 4 different fields, which is, we call it STEM. Stand for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. 8 million jobs. Now today, if you look at the college, that in this great country, we only produce about 70,000 engineers a year. So it pretty obvious, we're not gonna meet all the demand. So I think we need to really encourage the young people, especially the senior in the high school, to really let them understand there's something called the dose of reality. You need to really concentrate on these 4 fields, which is going to generate tremendous job opportunity in the future.
Something else that impressed me a lot is you have a philosophy of go slow in developing a different business. And you have certainly developed, and I have to argue with you a little bit. You said you've done a number of small things. I can't find any small things that you've ever done. They've all been big successes, but they did not come overnight. They were slow building or carefully done. Can you tell us a little bit about your philosophy of how to grow a business?
Well, it's a combination of circumstances, combination of the capability to see something invisible, and a combination of a little hard work and a little street smart, I guess. My first company is called MTI. I was working for Harris Corporation, and Harris decided, this is early 1980s, when the Berlin Wall tumbling down and the DOD cutting budget, so Harris started laying off people. And I was told by my boss, Mr. Brinkley, says either I will move to Syosset, New York, or I might have some hard time to keep my job in Fort Walton Beach. And that's when I started my first company called MTI. And I wish I know how to make a chicken chow mein so I can open a Chinese restaurant, but I only know how to put the electronic together. So that's what I do best. I never want to do something that beyond my capability. So MTI grow from my kitchen table to close to 800 people companies, and we built all kinds of avionics for a company like Boeing, like Lockheed, and turn around and sell it to the U.S. Air Force. One time, if you look at the sky, if there's any kind of a flying object, as long as it's not commercial, it's a military. I don't care if it's F-16, F-18, T-45, B-1, B-2, B-52. Our little company, MTI, have something to do with it. So that made me proud to be the first generation immigrant. Think about any country in this world that an immigrant can have that much of a involvement in our national defense. So this is really absolutely the great country. So I'm proud.
Very good.
As you should be, and I knew about you long before I ever met you, and because way back in the dark ages when you were working in the garage down here in Fort Walton Beach, some of the folks told me about you. One of those was Stanley Burson. He's a good yes. friend of mine, and yes. one of the many people who worked with you and saw the dream developing, and were part of that entourage that helped make it all happen. So I've been very impressed with how you took our culture and were able to get so many people to join you in the dream that you have going for you. Well, I highly recommend the book Guardians of the Dream. It's a wonderful read. I hope everybody gets their own copy and takes the lesson from it and takes it home with it and passes it along to the rest of the world. It's a very valuable story, and I personally want to thank you so much for having written it. And hopefully we'll see more books to come in the future as you have some other ideas about that. In the meantime, thank you so much for your support of the Crestview Area Chamber, as you always have. We appreciate that. And CTAP, your partner, Bob Keller, obviously they're the same sort of thing. Well, folks, if you'll stay with us, we have our last segment coming up shortly. We're going to be telling you all about all of the things that are going on in the Crestview Area Chamber of Commerce for the coming month. And Alicia has lots of news for us. Stay with us.
At Cox Media, we are committed to creating local demand for your business through the most engaging advertising solutions available. Utilizing Cox Media's promotional, research, and production services, we'll develop a customized marketing plan that fits your budget, giving you a clear snapshot of who your customers are and how to reach them. Contact us today and start capturing the attention of your customers wherever they live, work, shop, and play. Cox Media, your customers delivered.
That's low and below.
Look, he's blushing.
Seriously?
Welcome back to the third segment of Focus on Crestview. I'm Dennis Mitchell, President of the Crestview Area Chamber of Commerce, and I'm joined by the very soon-to-be President of the Crestview Area Chamber of Commerce, Alicia Booker from North Okaloosa Medical Center.
Dennis, as always, a pleasure to be here.
Well, what a great interview we just had with Dr. Paul Shue, and especially about his new book, The Guardians of the Dream. A great book. I encourage everybody to read it. It's just a wonderful story.
Absolutely.
Well, as always, the chamber was very busy in April. We finally got through, recovered from the Triple B, which was huge in March. April was busy, and May is going to be busy. So fill us in on all the things that are going on.
I would be happy to. As always, I love to start with our new members. And
yes.
So for the month of April, our new members are Rifle Solutions Gun Shop, Matthews and Jones LLP.
And those folks, I think, are opening up on May 1st in Crestview, and they are super excited about being in Crestview.
Very good. And we also have Beef O'Brady's.
And that's great news because we missed Beef O'Brady's. We had a great one there for a long time, and now they are reopening it, and talked to the folks from the Tampa area franchising, and they are very excited about getting that store back in operation.
And we're certainly excited to have them, as well as Carolina Aero Prep Panhandle Campus. And we did have a few ribbon cuttings during the month of April, so we want to highlight those as well. Emerald Coast Wildlife Refuge, Common Ground Community Garden of Crestview, as well as Dale Riley Photography.
And all three of them were fun, and I can tell you that Dale Riley knows how to put on a party. Okay, it was a whole lot of fun. The Common Ground folks, what a nice crowd we have there. They have that whole operation going right there in downtown Crestview.
Yes.
It's incredible. And of course, the Wildlife Refuge was a hoot and a half.
Yes.
What a great place! What a wonderful job they've done out there.
And it's very good to be able to have these types of things within the community, to have everyone have the opportunity to go out and visit and take the kids without having to leave our fair city of Crestview.
Right.
Coming up in May, we always do our Chamber Spotlight, which actually highlights an organization or a business within the Crestview Chamber. So Okaloosa County Minority HIV/AIDS Task Force was one of the highlight Spotlight members this month, and they are all about educating people on AIDS and giving out information. So they're a very good resource to have. The Jewelry Garden Boutique, which is downtown Crestview, so if you need some accessories or some little goodies or what have you for the upcoming installation dinner, you would be sure to visit with the Jewelry Garden.
My wife and daughter have already informed me they will be going there.
Very good. And for May, we do have an after hours coming up for the month of May, and that's going to be hosted by Yvonne Shanklin with Edward Jones. So May 8th is the date for the after hours.
I'll be there.
And then, of course, we have our usual meetings that the Chamber has, Chamber Business, the monthly breakfast at 7:30, the first Thursday of each month.
Always fun.
Yes, always a blast. And on May 6th, we have the Health and Wellness Committee meeting at 8:30 a.m., and that's held at the Crestview Chamber. And also on May 6th, we have the ribbon cutting and check presentation for the Crestview Family YMCA. They just recently had a big fundraiser, and so there will be a presentation. They're located there on Wilson Street.
And we have to give kudos to our friend Tom Moody, who leads that charge and does a fabulous job at raising the money for the YMCA, as well as running a heck of a great family day out at the old Warrior Ranch.
Yes. And on May 8th, the membership committee will be meeting at 12 at Country Chicken and Fish. On the 12th, the Arts and Culture Committee meeting at 8:30 a.m. And on the 13th, the MAC Committee at 11 a.m. at Cochin 4. And on the 14th, our Government Issues Committee meeting at 8:30 a.m. at the Chamber.
What a great job Ashley
Yes.
has done all year, bringing in some great topics.
Wonderful topics, very informative, and the participation has been great. And also, Pilot has had some great participation and good topics as well. And the Pilot meets on the 15th at 12 at the Office Lounge.
Casey Dean from Belle Isle Terrace has just got that committee on fire.
Yes. Our executive board meeting will be coming up as well on the 15th at 4 p.m. at the Chamber. And the 16th, we have another ribbon cutting, which we always love. This one's for Sweet Dreams Bakery at 12 noon, and they're located on Main Street.
I plan on getting there early. I've had some of their wares before. I will get there early, trust me.
It is just wonderful, my sweet tooth. On May the 20th, the Scholarship Committee meeting at 8:30 a.m. at the Crestview Chamber. And our Scholarship Committee has done such a wonderful job this year, and to be able to increase the number of scholarships that we're able to give to the students that apply. And they've done an outstanding job with that.
They really have. Dr. Pam Meadows and also Paul Lowry have really made some things happen this year. Proud of them.
Yes. And we have the general board meeting on the 22nd and the Ambassador Committee meeting on the 28th. And on the 31st, we have our golf tournament, the annual Hackers Holiday Golf Tournament. It's an 8:30 a.m. shotgun start, and that's going to be at Blackstone Golf Course, and that's always a fun activity for everyone.
It's a great place. Even if you don't golf, you should come out to it. It's a fun activity all day long, and they do a fabulous job for us.
Yes, and then for an upcoming Save the Date, we have the annual Chamber Installation and Award Dinner.
Now, what would that be all about?
Well, Well, that's all about lights, camera, and action this year. It's going to be a black and white affair. So find something black, white, or the combination thereof to wear. And if you can't find something in your closet, again, that gives you the opportunity to go out and shop with some of our great vendors in Crestview.
And once again, my wife and daughter have informed me they would be doing so.
I love that. And we have some great entertainment this year. We are going to have Jones and Company and Miss Sandra Daggs and Friends. So it's just going to be a wonderful treat. Our premier sponsor for the event is North Okaloosa Medical Center. So we want to definitely thank them.
Well, bless their hearts, no pun intended.
And also we have our entertainment sponsors, Inzer Management and Okaloosa Title and Abstract. This year's beverage sponsor is going to be CCB Community Bank. And again, just a reminder, there's so many great places within Crestview to shop. And if you need a list of those places, you can visit the Chamber website and get a list of places that you can get formal wear or semi-formal wear. And with any of the activities that we have going on at the Chamber, you can also visit the Chamber's website to get a list of those activities as a reminder.
Now let's see, I expect you're going to be at this annual awards and installation dinner on June the 14th, is that correct?
I do have that penciled in on my calendar, Dennis.
Yes, and you will be sworn in duly as the new president. Now, make sure we know where it's going to be and what time.
It is going to be at the Crestview Community Center again this year, and we kick off at 6 o'clock p.m.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Last year I was busy and didn't really get to participate all that much, but this year I'm going to have a really good time. And we are delighted to have you coming in as our new leader for the coming year.
And it has been a pleasure working with you. I'm going to miss our time here together with the shows, and we've just had the good times have certainly rolled this year.
And it's not true that we're going to make a blooper show, right?
I hope not.
And while we're talking about this, I just want to thank the folks here at Cox. They do such a fabulous job putting this show on for us, and they take care of all the rough edges and make it a whole lot of fun to do. We've had some great times here.
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, listen, I appreciate all of that. As we said, the Crestview Area Chamber stays busy all year round. We don't take any time off for anything, and we are going to have a whole lot of fun coming up in not only May, but June, July, and August, and September. So stay with us each month. You'll be able to catch us here on Focus on Crestview. And also, please, let me invite you, come to our Chamber Breakfast, the first Thursday of every month. It opens at 7 o'clock. We have a great breakfast out there. The meeting begins at 7:30. It's one of the premier networking things you can do in this entire region. So bless your heart for staying with us. We've had a great time here, and we'll see you again shortly. Thank you for watching.